recording by Declan Radio, not me.
I'm gonna start with the A fund and just we'll go through the funds.
On which sheet?
That would be page 6.
Oh, on the actual budget.
Yes, on the preliminary.
Okay, I thought we were on these.
You're starting on page 6, you said?
Sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the preliminary budget that you're all should be looking at dated 10/28 at 5 o'clock, 5 PM it was printed. Okay,
Page 6 for opportunity?
I believe it's page 6. So I have made no changes in the system, so I've penciled in some changes.
Page 6.
New York State retirement came in. And if I can find my sheet of paper. I had budgeted originally
59.
125,050, or I'm sorry, 124,873 in total, line 9010.800. That's changing from 59,526 to 60,028. Overall, the whole scope of the thing came in at, my preliminary budget was $185 short. So the entire New York State Retirement Fund is gonna be $125,058, that's the number. So contained within the budget and the various funds is $124,873. So it's a little,
So that's, you only made.
$185.
60,000, what's it?
28. So you only made it in the general fund, in A,
no, I made it,
all the way through?
based on Kathy's breakout with percentages. Make sure that we're both on the same page, her and me. So there was a bit of a change in the A fund. We're going to 60,028 for that line. We go to the B fund on page 8. 9010.800. It's going from 2890 to 3752.
3752.
Page 10. 9010.800. We're going from 35,230 to 33,766.
37, say that again?
33,766. Library fund, page 14. 9010.800. We're going from 6,074 to 5,001. 5001. And that takes care of the changes for the New York State retirement.
SR?
I'm sorry?
SR doesn't have any?
Oh, there we are,
Page
sorry.
16.
We're going from 4859 to 6253.
Wow.
So however, the payroll has been changing and
Yeah.
that'll be the new numbers for next year. So that was that. I think there were some changes discussed possibly at the last board meeting. I'll have to rely on Chris on her notes.
How'd you know I brought some?
Oh, I just figured. Or we can, if we just want to go to the library and do that really quick,
Yeah, let's get that out of there.
Get that out of the way. I asked Kathy to do the changes that was requested. This is on page 13, 7410.103. We're changing, we're gonna drop the temp in the description. And once she takes care of that, we're gonna fund that with $7,500. And if we go up 2 lines, 7410.100, we're taking 7,500 out of there to fund the new aid minus the temp.
And that's gonna be called like
That's-
This must be-
assistant or something?
I'm sorry?
That's gonna be called assistant, I think, or,
No, that's Roxy.
yeah, and that 20,000.
Just
is
library
Roxy.
aid.
Library aid.
Change the description from library temp aid to library aid.
And the other one should be.
And the other one,
The email that I sent out, I don't have it with me.
I do right here. Rename budget line 7410.100
That one.
from library aid to library assistant.
That's what I thought.
And we're dropping that from 27,000 to 20. And taking the 7,500 and dropping it down 3 more lines down for the aid.
7410-103,
Correct.
right,
7410.410, which now has 6,000 in it, collection, library collection. We're dropping it to 5,000. And we're taking that 1,000 and we're creating a new line, library collection dash ebooks.
And that will be,
411.
dot 411. So you'll have your visibility on ebooks.
Thank you.
Now,
And-
that line was, one of the ones that, the library board of trustees agreed to take, 500 out of. So if
Yeah, I
you're
knew you
gonna-
had some.
If you're gonna move 1,000, then that line will become 3,000, right? Or 2,000.
Say again?
L 7410.430. The library board of trustees, when we asked Karen to go back to them,
Okay.
make
Oh,
some cuts.
the supplies?
Office and supplies, yeah. They
We're going-
agreed to take 500 out of that.
So we're going from 4,000 down to 3,500?
Well, and then you're taking another 1,000 out, right? So it becomes 2,500?
No, the 1,000 is coming out of dot 410. 7410,
the 6,000 is gonna become 5.
5.
the 6,000
Okay,
is
well,
gonna
they are,
become 5.
they already agreed to drop that to 5, so now it becomes 4? They came
I
back,
didn't, well, yeah, but I haven't seen any of that correspondence, so I don't know.
they were here at the meeting, the last budget workshop meeting, remember Karen, not Karen, Kathleen,
Connell.
oh, yeah, thank you, and Nancy Welch were
Okay.
here. And they
Yeah, but-
brought information back about the additional budget cuts the library is willing to make, and I verified that with Karen at our last board meeting.
This is after we approved the preliminary.
Right,
Okay.
right, I wanted to make sure that, Karen sent 2 other people, so I didn't know if they were officially speaking
No.
for the board or what.
No, I think they just came to see what was going on. And I'm not gonna officially speak for the board unilaterally either.
Well, Karen, when I
That
thanked her
would
for
be a
making
Karen
the
question.
additional cuts, she said, "You're welcome." And then she thanked us for working with the library. So,
Well,
so if you, no, it doesn't include digital.
Should we change it?
Well, I think so. I mean, they agreed to take another 2,500 out of their budget, and that every little bit helps.
Did they have to go through the board, library board?
Well, supposedly it did.
Well, I don't remember taking an extra 1,000 out of collection. I know we took the 1,000 out for the ebooks, which
We
is the money
recateg-
that's donated.
recategorized it.
Right,
We didn't take any money out, though.
Correct.
that's my understanding.
Board of Trustees meets next week?
No,
Is
not
it the
until
first Tuesday or the third?
the first Tuesday.
Okay. So we have to just decide whether or not we're gonna do it tonight, because this has to be turned into Debbie this week.
Well, perhaps a phone call to Karen, Mark, because I'm, like I said, I'm just one board member, I'm not speaking for the board.
Would you like to call her? As a board member?
No, I'll call her. Wait, I
Okay.
have to find my phone.
Remember, we have court tonight, so you might wanna keep moving. 6:45, it needs to be cleared out.
Well, I don't understand why this is a problem, because they agreed to it, so.
I don't remember that, you don't,
I remember her talking, but I don't remember.
I remember her
I
thinking
remember
of,
saying the amount, but I don't
for
remember.
working
what
with
was
her
coming.
and I remember her discussing the 2,500 cut.
Right.
there was a discussion about computer, I remember that, because there was a decision.
And that was one of the lines that they cut,
Right,
was they took 1,000 out of 7410.469. So that dropped that to 2,000.
Is it 6105, does that sound right? Were you calling her?
Yeah. Oops, wrong Karen. Six one zero five?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
You getting any rest?
Lots.
Good. At your desk?
I don't better say that.
How are they doing with the messes on the roads and trying to get around them?
That's the old one. It's just gravel. We lowered the angles of the plows and such.
Hello, Dave?
Yes.
Yeah, Chris Meixner.
Hey Chris, how you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Good, we're sitting here in our hopefully last budget workshop meeting. And,
Oh, you are, oh, all right, all right.
yeah,
Hang
it-
on, let me, you're looking for my wife. right?
yes, I am, thank you.
Hello.
Hey Karen, it's Chris Meixner.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Hi, thank you.
We have a little confusion here.
Oh, okay,
We're in the last budget workshop meeting,
okay.
and it was my recollection that the library board of directors agreed to cut $2,500 out of your budget. And Nancy is 2,500?
Ooh, why?
It was, why? You didn't, okay, why did Kathy O'Connell and Nancy Welch come here and talk about these cuts if you didn't send them?
Wait a minute, I'm missing something here totally. Well, I know they're there, I didn't hear there because I think that's the Saratoga time.
You know, you were sick that day, right? Yeah,
2,500
yeah.
of what was the last one that I looked at? No, where did they get that from?
We got that from being told that the board had agreed to cut 1,000 from libraries' computers, going from 3 to 2. And that was something you had also discussed. And then library office and library supplies agreed to cut 500. And library collection agreed to cut 1,000. This is not ringing any bells with you?
It does not break any bells with me at all.
That's,
I wish I had that budget in front of me now. It's probably someplace buried on my desk or someplace on a great pile or something.
wait a minute, I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Yeah, I know, and I keep cutting out here. Let me see if I have, thought I had that.
Well, I guess the bottom line is apparently the Board of Trustees has not discussed this and agreed to these cuts.
No, here, I got it right here. Wait a minute, hold on, let me look at my big figures right here. The last I have, and these are the figures that I took with me, during the budget hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, under, let me see, I still have library collection as 6. We went down, from 7,000 to 6,000, that was a reduction there. Okay, and what was the other one that you just said?
Mm-hmm. Because last year's budget was
Um,
7,000.
Library, office and supplies, 74,
For this year's
430.
budget.
Okay, I had here 4,000, let me see, actual, tentative from 4,260 to 4,000, that was a decrease of minus 6.12%.
Okay, there, I see where the confusion is.
Okay,
I didn't know you were talking about cutting from your original budget. I thought you were cutting from 2020 preliminary.
Nope.
no, yes, we were cutting from the original 2019, yes, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
You're right, you're going on to the preliminary and taking the cutoff of there. We had talked about taking the cutoff of the original 2019.
Right.
Okay, I didn't understand
That
that.
would explain it.
Right.
Yeah, it would explain it, yep. Okay, so you're still planning on getting 3 computers then? Because you had thought maybe you could get 2 this year.
Friends of the Library is donating $2,500 for computers.
Because with whatever figures that affected this budget that Mark brought to you today, that you have in front of you,
Mm-hmm.
that apparently had a, I guess, a negative impact on the budget, right? I mean, correct?
Well, your whole budget had a negative impact on our budget.
Yeah, I did, but then you realize that this is a one-time only thing, because.
Well, a lot of things are one time only. Right now, we're looking at lots of road repairs.
Yeah, I mean, this is only 1 year that we are going to hire somebody full-time, that Sherry has benefits. So next year, it's not going to be the same. We're not going to be having another person full-time and another person with full-time benefits.
Yeah, but it's not gonna go down
So
either.
that's what I mean. So if you're taking a hit on year 1, yes, I realize that. That does not mean it takes a hit every year thereafter. It's not a perpetual thing.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Okay, so you had talked about dropping 1 computer this year. Are you going to do that or not?
I'm going to look at I'm looking for what the computer line said right here.
7410.469.
What is it say, how much does it say, 3?
Yeah.
3,000?
Yeah, it says 3.
Yeah, they're about $3,000 each. And what did we have for,
You had original 2019 budget 3,000.
Yep,
Then 2020 preliminary, 3,000. And I thought at the very beginning of this process, when you presented the library's budget to us, that you had said you could cut 1,000 out of that line if we needed you to.
Okay, and what impact will that have on the bottom line overall?
The bottom line of your budget or the town budget?
No, this is the bottom line on the town budget, I'm gonna work together.
Oh, well, if you're going, it doesn't make a big difference, Karen, but we're down to the point where we're, figuring by, quarter percents here, trying to get down. 2,700 is 0.127% of this year's tax levy, so it'd be something less than that, say 1.15? Does that sound about right? It's not a big difference, no, but,
No, that's what, I mean, and I don't mind giving and taking as long as maybe somebody else gives and takes too, to make the bottom line work.
oh, everybody's been giving and taking. Randy had to give up a lot.
That's life sometimes, you know what I mean? Sometimes that's life, it makes it hard for everybody, but that's what negotiations are, and that's what give and take is all about.
That's right, that's why I'm asking you to go down 1,000 on the computers.
Friends of the Library is donating 2,500 for computers, so we should keep the line at least 2,500.
Okay, did you hear that, Karen?
No, what she said?
She said Friends of the Library is donating 2,500 toward computers, so you should keep the line at least 2,500?
I saw nothing in writing or official to that effect. All I hear is verbalization to that. Any friends of the library support that they are giving to the library to me has been verbalized, which I think verbalized from anybody. I like to see things in writing. But if that's what they say, I guess I would have to take them at their word.
I thought that was in writing in the form of an email.
Well, however, I like to see
It
things in
was.
writing.
Yeah, Nancy has it in writing in an email.
I mean, I'm assuming that it's been approved. I haven't heard anything definite.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would like to keep $500 in that line. Should we need to buy another iPad or something like that, and not necessarily hard drive?
Okay, Karen, so the bottom line is you're not willing to give anything at all?
Well, you just said 500, so that would be $2,500.
Oh, I thought you said you wanted to keep 500 on top of the 2,500.
No, if they're willing to give us 2,500 towards computers, then our line item would say 500.
No, it would say 2,500, Karen.
Okay, Nancy says it would have to show 2,500. Okay, thank you.
Can I help you any?
Well, every little bit helps.
Every little bit helps. I can throw in 10 bucks if you want.
It might come to that.
We might have to start making sales at Charlie John's, you never know.
No, you got charged for library cards.
I know. That's okay, I'm a taxpayer too, Chris. You know,
Yep.
so,
Okay, take care, Karen.
okay, thanks.
Bye.
Alright,
She's tough. I've lost track of where we are.
At least we saw where they're getting their numbers and our numbers.
Well, you know where you are, I guess that's all that matters.
So we're gonna drop computers down from 3 to 2,500.
Right, that's what she's agreed to.
And the collections, what we talked about, the 5,000 and the 1,000, that's staying the same, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so
Collections going from 6 to 5,
right.
and new line ebooks going to 1,000.
Yeah,
Right,
okay, that's what I got.
okay.
And one last thing that I have for the library, unless you have. The medical, we had it in there $10,000. Is that a good number? Is that based on a premium or is that,
That was
that's not based on a
on
buyout, is it?
a premium and a buyout.
Premium and a buyout. Oh, for both? The combination of the two? Okay.
Did Sherry take the insurance previously?
No. No, she's just starting it because she's. her
Didn't we
divorce is
switch her?
final.
Did we didn't?
I don't know.
I thought we switched her over. But she's taking the insurance and Roxy's taking the buyout, so she would be a single. So that's like $600 some odd dollars for her, for Sherry.
Per month,
So that'd be about right.
7,200 plus the buyout. Buyout's
About
20%.
20%?
20% of the cost of a single.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right, just want to verify that. Okay. Yeah, you had a couple more?
Well, I had a couple things to consider if anybody's interested. Animal control. I would like to suggest that we lower that budget line to 2,500. And I'd like to give 1,000 to the Historical Society and 1,500 to the seniors. Neither of those have had, well, the Historical Society's never gotten anything. And the seniors have, has everybody seen the letter that Pauline sent around about that situation?
No,
Okay.
all I saw was the contract that she sent.
So you're
The
saying,
contract hasn't been updated since 2007,
No, I'm aware of that.
and Pauline wrote a very nice letter explaining, well, basically inflation has caught up with them.
so you're saying you want to cut the animal personnel services, 3510.1?
If the board approves, that's what I.
You wanted to cut it back to what?
I'd like to make it 2,500.
I am always against cutting anybody's pay.
5 dogs last year.
Doesn't matter.
Still on call at all times.
Excuse me?
Still on call. They're still on call,
I
whether they
know.
had 5 dogs or 55 dogs, they're still on call.
I understand that when you're on call, hell, for the ambulance corps, I was on call 24 hours a day, 3 days a week, but, you know, that doesn't mean that's all you're doing, sitting by the phone.
Oops, I'm sorry.
It's on call.
He's on call.
Yeah, of course, it's a garbage call.
Well, how did the
Chris,
board
we
ever
looked at-
arrive at that figure? Do you know,
Yeah.
Bob?
Arrival, what figure?
The 5,000 for animal control?
I have
Because I'm
absolutely no
assuming that
idea.
was there before Mike.
I honestly.
I mean, I don't know.
I can't remember that.
I think, I don't know how they came up with a figure initially, but I think when there were raises, there would be the same raise that the rest of the employees received that got it to where it is now. So if,
It went across the board.
Yep.
right, right.
Well, maybe we should consider a cap on that position then, because, I don't know, I just think $5,000 a year is an awful lot of money for a dog control officer. It's an extremely part-time job, kind of like us.
I agree with you, but cutting someone's pay in half is a big number. I mean, I'm just Joe Schmo, but if I found out somebody cut my pay in half for what I was doing, and prior to that, nobody said anything, I'd have a squawk about it.
Well, he meets, I mean, he, on top of the dogs, he also has to meet with ag markets, you know, the reports with that kind of stuff. So it's not like he just sits at home with that. and the kennel has to
And
be
on
cleaned
the other
out.
half, the other half of that, I agree with the other, where you're going with that money. By looks of what you're doing. Yeah. They need the money and they haven't increased in years.
Yep.
The, if you compare it to other towns,
Arietta in this year paid $1,418. Indian Lake paid $3,600. Long Lake paid $4,100 this year. Wells pays $0.
That's because we take all their
We take
dogs.
their dogs.
Okay, well, they should be paying us
That
then.
Route 8 all the way across, when there's a dog to be had, we take those dogs. Mike goes down and takes the dogs off of Route 8, and that's where most of them get dumped. Over the
Route 8
years.
between Wells and Weavertown.
We take them. And we've taken Morehouse's dogs too.
And yet we still only had 5 dogs.
But this
In
is
the
just over
last
the
year.
years, I mean, it's talking over the years.
Okay, well,
well, why
Just-
would we take the dogs when Marietta's closer to Morehouse?
Because their dog warden was never around. Don't forget, he's working full-time for the county too at the same time, so ours was always available, theirs was not.
I don't think they have a kennel either.
Yeah, they do.
They do?
Morehouse did not, 'cause that's the way we took their dog at the time.
The Historical Society, what, are you talking about the historian or the historical, you mean you want to start a new line for the Historical Society?
What I would like to see with the Historical Society basically is I'd like to see them own that building. And I thought giving $1,000 toward, they
Them buying it
have
back?
serious problems with that building. There are serious problems. You were here for the discussion
Yeah.
last time.
Yeah.
And I think it's either a question of evicting them and probably demolishing that building, because we can't afford to replace it. We can't afford to jack it up and put anything under it for over
What would
$100,000.
they do with $1,000?
It's like, a
Because-
panacea.
Yeah, well,
I mean-
we've never given the Historical Society any money. We have a
No.
town historian and she has a budget.
Well, I'm
and
willing to
that's-
drop that idea.
It's just, I'm just curious, if that was like to
Well,
start a
it's
new.
kind of like a little, make it go down easier. Because we're not gonna be able to fix that building. So then the question becomes, do you let the public in there? Do you let anybody in there?
Randy, you said that the floor joists are actually
In the
coming,
dirt, in the back.
yeah,
The very back room where the furnace used to be, they're in the dirt.
yeah. It's,
I mean, it's, you
So
walk on
virtually
that
gonna be
floor, that's why we
unsafe.
took the furnace after we decided not to heat the place.
right,
The concrete slab that the furnace was on, we took it off to take the weight off the boards, cause the whole floor was falling. I'm just saying the back room, is in horrible shape.
the foundation's in horrible shape too.
Right, but I mean, the back room is the worst, but that's the bathroom. So you take off the back room, now you have no bathroom, now we gotta build something back on there. You know what I mean? That's, where do you wanna go with this? It gets expensive really quick,
Yeah,
especially if you say the word ADA.
Might be better off taking off the back addition and putting a porta potty out there. It might be a good short-term solution, because the front of the building does need foundation work, but at least the joists aren't in the dirt that we know of, because nobody can get under there.
Right, but you gotta have if someone's working there, you gotta have a bathroom.
No clue.
So that's
An
Yeah, a
indoor
lot of those.
bathroom?
accessible bathroom, I believe is how it's quoted.
Oh, okay.
I
Well,
don't know
let's-
the legalities of that.
The fact that we have time constraints tonight, let's just forget the Historical Society and focus on,
Well, far as finding money, because of the last 2 weeks worth of disasters, we can definitely take out dust control completely. We went from 4 to 1,500.
It's wet enough out there?
Well, next year, we're gonna be rebuilding roads, there's not gonna be,
Oh, there will
Yeah.
be dust control.
we're gonna be graveling and so on and so forth. So, I'm not foreseeing any of our roads needing dust control next year. I mean, it's just gonna be so much new fresh gravel and everything else that,
Page 11.
And where will that,
that's. Mhm.
where will that money come from?
Go to
No.
the
Okay.
re-graveling and everything else. That's a discussion of which, are we taking it out of, we got a oh, I swear, bunch of gravel from the state. Hopefully they're going to be still bringing it. And next spring, we can rekindle this when weather permits better to fix the roads correctly. And at this point in time, there's no fees for bringing this gravel in or the gravel itself. So they are just bringing it here so we can get our roads open. Now next spring, when everything that washes away again, hopefully we have a slow spring, not a fast one. I've been under the understanding that whatever we're gonna need, we should be able to get. Now, if that's not the case, then I'll be coming back to this board next spring saying, yes, we're gonna take the money that, the 35,000 that I have in here for aggregate, and we're gonna be spending that on fixing these roads and the paving money, and hopefully get that in return from FEMA. Hopefully, they pay 75%?
75.
Of that money back. So our paving, let's say this, our paving projects will be fixing, and then we'll have to get back onto our schedule the following year, hopefully with a bigger chunk of change, because we'll have our FEMA money.
Right. Understood.
So we're playing the eggshell game,
Yep.
basically. So I don't foresee us losing a lot of money if FEMA steps up to the plate. If they don't, we're gonna lose a whole year's worth of capital improvements, basically, road improvements, just to get back to where we are, at least. But I have a funny feeling that, I think FEMA's,
I think
we're
so.
gonna qualify, so. We've gotten FEMA money for a lot less than this.
Yeah, that was a winter.
If that was,
It was a snowstorm we got
Yeah,
FEMA money
yeah,
for, I mean,
yeah.
come on. This is what we deal with every day.
Yeah.
the state will step up.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
hopefully the state will help with that other 25%. So,
Just make sure you keep a really good record.
I gotta file this out. I'm trying to start to organize it,
Well,
but
thank you, Randy,
So the
that,
1,500 goes away or goes?
the 1,500 can go towards anything in here, I'm just trying to keep that line.
Oh, yeah, I understand.
well, can we give it to the seniors?
Does that work?
That's fine.
I don't have
yes,
any
thank you.
problem with that.
Okay.
Did you want me to, explain how the organization got started or how?
Really,
Right
in
at
the
time?
time of this, and maybe just briefly, why you're looking for the $1,500 increase?
Okay, well, for one thing, the agreement was formed in 1978 between the town of Lake Pleasant, Arietta, Office of the Aging, and the Lake Pleasant Senior Citizens Group. At that time, we had agreed, the seniors had agreed for the amount of, it was $100 for the town of Lake Pleasant, or $200 for the town of Lake Pleasant and the town of Arietta, of which they each got $100 back.
Yeah.
And then in 1996, they increased it to 11,000, yeah, I don't know which, $1,175.
I did see this.
And in '97, they increased it to $1,500, and in 2007, it was $3,500. And there has not been an increase since 2007. So our expenses have gone up. We've spent a lot of money cleaning out the backyard which is our piece of property. And we had stone delivered and leveled and front as well. And we have other issues that we would like to address as
So the
well.
$1,500 to continue improvements to the building?
Yes, I mean, our insurance alone that we have is like $1,200 that we provide for the meal site and for us, but more because of the meal site, there's cooking in there and different things, and a lot of it is due to,
Well, and the seniors pay half the heat,
Office of the Aging.
the Office of the Aging pays half the,
Kansas.
and the seniors pay the rest, right?
and we pay the rest, we
Right,
pay all of
right,
it.
right.
And we
So-
can't, we don't use the building because it is used by Office of the Aging. So what used to be,
Bake
bake
sale.
sales,
Yeah.
and we used to have lunch sales, which the Tweaks has taken over. That's what we used to do. We can't do any of that now because the meal site is 5 days a week.
You can thank me, you almost lost that 3,500. Mr. Whitlock got 3,500, it was for Paul Cleveland's pay. And I was like, no, that's for that building, I knew that right off. But I'm definitely in favor of doing that. My only request is, I saw the contract that, I don't know who plunked it out, but I don't like striking out. I think if we have to know what the dog warden spends his time on and what the fire department's financials and albeit and the youth rec and the library and everybody else, we should have some kind of an accounting as to where that money goes, even if it's just a letter,
I don't
you know.
care about where it goes, that's fine, but the request for them to give us a budget in advance every year showing what they're gonna spend their
Yeah,
money
no,
on.
not a.
Basically, they deal with stuff as it comes up.
Right, no, but I would think before budget time, just, you know, we
Yeah, we
paid
work-
for electric or
All
we
the
paid
things
for,
that we
yeah.
do, like the caregiver support
Mhm.
group, we have driver,
The driver
course-
safety, yeah.
courses,
Yeah.
Medicare, all of this is free to the community.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of things we offer, it's free, so we don't get any money from any of these, but we do provide
Right.
many services.
And if it
for
helps,
seniors.
like in the case of the driver safety, I know that we have lunch served there, but the library would have been a bigger space to stuff all those
We
people
could
in.
only have 24 people anyways,
Mm.
that was the limit.
Yeah, we were pretty squished, but, yeah, I'm in favor of that.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so what you wanna change on number 3 is,
Just it doesn't, you don't have to worry about that right now, but I'm just saying, I think that, you know, something to give us an idea of what they use that.
Accountability.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just,
we can look at that later.
yeah, this, you don't have to do that now. Just, you know, and I'm sure that isn't too hard.
No, for instance, we spent 237130 up to November for just lights and propane for heat. And we got back 1,000 from Office of the Aging, so we paid $1276.34
Yeah.
up to November, and I'm sure December is gonna be even more. So, I mean, we paid more than what the office reimburses us.
So the only income that you receive is from the town and the Office for the Aging, or?
We get 15 from the town of Arietta.
Oh, okay,
We get,
well, that's good.
that was the co-spawning district.
Mhm.
But everything else we provide ourselves with,
Okay.
you know,
Mhm.
lottery. Whatever we have, sale of cookbooks.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
That was just one.
Yeah, you got anything?
I don't have any more, no, but, in first thing, I didn't know if you wanted to go. You were done yet, that's all.
well, the only other point I wanna make is the Chamber of Commerce wants 2,500 more. And I don't know how anybody else feels about that, but I thought they were doing a good job, better than they have in the past.
They have made some major improvements, I think.
Yeah, it is improving, I'd kinda like to give them a little reward for that. Keep them going in the right direction. And I thought maybe 2,500 more, but, I don't know where it would come from unless we cut the animal control line. Maybe we should give them just, cut a little bit there and give that to the chamber, or, I don't know, does anybody have any ideas?
How about 1,000 from animal control and 1,000 towards the chamber? And I'm just off the top of my head.
I'm not in favor of
No.
cutting pay.
I'll make a motion that we do that. And we have a quorum here, so we can decide this.
In a second. Just for the sake of discussion, I'll second it.
Okay.
I don't think I should speak to it.
No, probably not. Randy? Any thoughts on that?
Well, like I said before, cutting it in half is, I'm definitely against.
No, I'm saying cutting 1,000.
Cutting 1,000 out of it. I know there's only, you know, this year, past year, there's only 5 dogs or whatever. I would say that we leave it where it is, and what's the $1,000 isn't gonna.
How far off are we that we're doing
I don't
That's what I'm saying, I'm wondering if we should.
nitpicking,
Yeah.
you know,
But I
I mean,
think we should
I'm
put a cap
concerned-
on it. If you guys, not we, I'm not a board member, but if you're gonna do anything, I definitely would be in support of putting a cap on it. But I don't, if the guy didn't know what he was doing, was approaching it wrongly or anything, so I don't think cutting his pay out of the blue is,
No, we haven't done anything wrong.
you know, that's right, but
You know, it's just that I think that certain jobs reach
a cap,
a point where you just don't wanna pay anymore.
right, and which is
It's
what
not
I would
worth
say, it would reach a cap, it wouldn't reach a cap.
And it's not a job,
plus-
it's a contract, right?
Right, well, it's, yeah, correct. That's my, you know, that's my view on it. Cap it, yes, 100% up for it, but
Okay.
Well, you know how I feel, so. I'll go along with you know, cutting it by 1,000 rather than 2,500. If that's what happens, if not, I'll just suck it up and
Well,
Move on.
Bob would abstain from this, so we would have a split vote here, so.
Oh, not enough.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. All right, well, I guess it's gonna stay at 5,000.
let's leave that for now, but we should address it again later. Do what we really wanna do, but maybe the cap is right thing to do now then. Okay,
We're going ahead with Pauline for 1,500 from Dusty, right?
yeah,
yeah, from my dust control
From
arm.
your Dusty.
As the trucks roll by, if it gets dusty, hold your breath.
What line do we want that on? The senior
The one
program?
that's currently 3,500.
not programs,
No.
but
Page 6. Adult recreation.
762401.
$7620.401.
Yep, page 6.
400 or the meals?
401.
401.
401, right?
Oh, I had another question,
I know you did.
of course. Why is the cleaning contract going up by 5% still? Cause we agreed on October 9th to change it to 3%. And then my other question as a follow-up to that is how come it's not 2% like everybody else?
Right,
And I believe my answer to that was, at that point in time, I was supposed to talk to her, and which I did not. I will admit to that.
Well, you've been a little busy.
Yeah, but I wasn't back then. That's my mistake. I was
Is
supposed
this
to
what
ask
she
her
asked for was 5%?
No, nobody ever talked to her, then we decided that night that I needed to talk to her as head of the building, which I never have in the past, and I did not talk to her. So we went from 5 to, I don't even know how the 5 got in there, down to 3 that night. And
But she hasn't asked for an increase.
no, she has not asked, but I don't know if she knows who to ask, if she was supposed to. But she hasn't mentioned anything to me, so.
Does she have a contract?
And plus
Kind of.
and she carries
Well,
her,
she's an independent contractor, so.
Right.
she carries
Must
her
have
own
a
health
contract.
She's
insurance.
got a contract,
Right, and she,
Hope so.
I haven't seen it, but
I know we
she
have
has her own
because-
health, her
Well,
own insurance.
You feel that she's worth a raise is basically what
Yes.
you're saying.
I, without a doubt,
So should we give her the same 2% we're giving everybody else?
I would concur with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that.
mhm.
And that's, I think, the number on that one.
That's in the,
162401, right?
I would save $600.
that would be page 4.
20,400?
I was gonna say something.
Before the changes that we just made, Mark, do you have any idea
I'm
where
sorry?
we are? Percent wise?
The way the budget sits right now, we're at 7%.
Without any fund balance,
Right.
appropriated fund balance.
And the reason I'm being so nitpicky is I don't wanna see us appropriate more fund balance than we did last year.
You have to be real careful with your DB.
Yeah, there's a big question mark for next year.
Right.
Cause that's
So-
where this is all being paid out of, right? 6 o'clock.
In round numbers, we're about 130,000 over.
And DB is obviously the danger zone for next year.
So you're taking her,
With road
that
construction.
5% off that line? And what are you doing?
Making it 2%.
I think you're gonna be fine.
It's going at 21,000 down to 20,400.
Right.
I don't have a contract on her, all I have is, her job description and her copy of her liability insurance.
No, I don't like to nitpick to a gnats, whatever. But you gotta start somewhere, and
Oh, I know.
overall, we're gonna be, we can be fine. But you really gotta if you don't, like Chris, if you don't keep hammering these things, they just,
Crow,
They tend to
yeah,
grow.
okay, and it just gets out of control. While we're in the same section, I
page
think.
on there.
7.
Page 7 or?
Page 7, yeah. 906801, the health insurance deductible that we had in there for, we went from 48 to 51.2. And I guess the number probably will be 51.2 with the 2 additions from this year. As of,
Well, 2 additions, but like I said to you, Lynn was only for a month, so that could go back down again. but I just think it would be safe if you kept it there, just because we're gonna be hiring, the Weaver girl is gonna be coming on full board with the health insurance.
Right, so from Brian, his letter, his email dated November 6th. There's a balance left in the deductible fund of $14,300. We could probably safely grab 8,000 of that, leaving 5,000, 6,000.
Does that have to be accrued for December bills?
Well, he was just saying that that's kind of where we were going with the, playing it safe to start off the January.
My gut tells me with the first year is don't touch it. I don't think there's anything out there that'll obliterate the original 48,000. In other words, the $14,000 balance we have left as of November 6th, we're not gonna wipe that out by the end of this year.
No,
No.
How much are we gonna use? I don't know, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000,
that's what,
maybe.
you know, you said 8, I said 10, so however you wanna negotiate that.
Well, my question is, if someone goes to the doctor in December, December, Christmas Day,
Yeah, so come January or
come
February.
January, does it go into the next year's
No, it co-
expense, or does it get taken out of this
Gets taken out of this
year's? Like it gets accrued back, like
Date of
our
service,
accounting
Mhm.
has?
right?
Yes,
Like
yeah.
anything else, date of service, I would assume.
Yeah, that money should come, or the charge should come back to 2019.
Yeah.
So whatever bookkeeping entry Kathy has to make with the balance.
It'd have to be 2019.
We have to do accrual.
So like I was saying, I think comfortably we could pick up 8 grand going forward. The road situation, first year in,
Yeah.
maybe we'll have a little buffer next year. A little more of a buffer and just leave that the way it is.
Yep.
Yeah,
What do you think?
problem with that.
I'm okay with leaving it the way it is, because my dream is that eventually that'll pay for the, pay for itself every year, and we won't be putting money in for deductibles. You know, so that may be very unrealistic, but that's what I'd like to see.
Well, that usually can happen.
Yeah,
I think it could.
That's why
I think about 10 years into this, if
Dreamed
no
up
future board
to happen.
changes things.
Well, I mean, you see what you got in 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, the advantage is, a lot of the guys that we've hired are young guys.
yes.
You know, you can get them
Well, most of the guys that are hiring don't take the insurance anyway.
Right,
But this year would be a good time to start a file, a permanent file on that and
Right.
track
Yeah.
everything. So that 4 years from now, we can go back to the file and, this is what's happened.
Yep,
You and I won't be looking at that.
Somebody will.
in theory, history should be a good teacher.
The call out bonus
correct.
that we approve, are you doing that on a seasonal basis or a yearly basis?
Yearly is how the state does all their stuff.
So it would start
January
in
to
January?
January 1 to December.
Okay,
That way, there's no rollover into,
yeah, I didn't know if it would go into like this,
right now
like
start.
state snow now
No,
or how
yeah,
that
that's
works.
why I'm trying to do it January, or
Okay.
whatever, December 30th.
And do we have that kind of built in?
Into here, oh, it should be, once again, it should be a wash. I mean, we have enough money in there,
I mean, we're talking about, is that only state snow or is that for all the roads?
no, state,
State's not.
Only
State program.
it's a state
Oh,
program.
okay, okay.
So,
It'll be funded eventually.
there's like almost
Exactly.
nobody except for possibly Malcolm that doesn't get called in for the state road. Eventually throughout the winter. 10 times to be called in is nothing. 30 times is, but the original 10 is like nothing.
Yeah,
For instance, Lynn, Eddie, Trevor, and Matt have all been called in at least 2 times this year, just in the last 2 weeks. I mean, so it's not like, the catch on this whole thing is when I call and you don't answer. It's an advantage to me,
Oh, no,
not
I
that the guys
understand.
don't
I-
answer.
Yeah,
But at this point, it gives them that, oh gosh, it's November 30th, Thanksgiving Day or whatever, I don't wanna go in. Well, if you're one call away from losing that $500, you're gonna pick up the phone.
yeah. No, I was just curious if we
So-
were starting that like now for seasonal.
Yeah,
You
no,
know,
I
this
was doing
like,
that.
oh,
I was
like we
planning
do
on
with the
doing January to January.
snowmobile, like the snowmobile money
Yeah,
works.
cause that just gets, by the way, that money was processed, not the money, the vouchers were processed. And I'm supposed to get an email tomorrow saying that it's been sent UPS second day, Eric. We'll get the vouchers with a UPS return envelope back to them so that we can hopefully have the money in this year. The checks, so on and so forth.
You
Then
heard
we
that from
can give-
Parks and Rec?
Huh? Yeah, that's from Orsup themselves. I got the spreadsheet that said what trails were accepted and weren't and this and that of last year's stuff, so then we can pay our clubs and the remainder is going into our budget.
Okay.
So,
Okay, that was my question.
that money is at least coming. Now, they're still doing last year's, the 70% check. Well, I don't think we'll see it in this year. So it'll be coming into next year. But your question is state snow wages. We use 28, which would probably be 6 or 7 more now, so $500 for say 4 guys, two or three, you know, it's,
Yeah.
I would say.
Well,
that
as long
money
as
is
they're
there.
gonna reimburse us for it, it's,
Yeah, one way, it's, money in, money out,
yeah.
just time in between.
Okay, I got something else that nobody's gonna like. The justices. I think that it's time for us to seriously consider capping their pay. I don't believe that, the fact that we give them health insurance plus a salary is just about unheard of.
It is unheard of in the county. I think we're going with the give health
And
insurance.
you wanna pass these around, so we have something to, you have information, same information that I'm working on.
Oh, it sounds funny. I should give a copy of that to the judges too. No, I'll just take one.
Or,
If we're not gonna cut that, being that time is of the essence for tonight, perhaps this should be revisited. You know, if we're not changing what's in the budget now, right, if you're talking about capping it,
well, I have an either or kind of thing. Or, of course, I would be happy with both, but the either or is. I'd also like to see us not give town justices family health insurance coverage. I think it's ridiculously expensive for, the number of hours that they have to put in. You know, the fact that they're getting health insurance from the town at all is like the second coming, basically. And, I don't think we should be paying for family health insurance coverage. I'm willing to pay for the judge and even their spouse. But family, I think, is really, really pushing it.
I think this has to be addressed when they're up for reelection, because I know we had a situation where they ended the health insurance for one of the judges, ended up in court and they lost because it was pre-term of their,
I thought that was cutting their pay.
what was the health
That was
insurance?
health insurance?
Yeah. I think it's gotta be addressed when they're up for real. They both come up at the same time, don't they?
They just ran.
there's.
They just
Yeah,
ran.
just ran, so it'll be- Yeah.
Debbie, did you leave that information on Dan's desk
No,
about the judges?
No.
Katie says she didn't leave it. It was very interesting information, because that's how I found out that we can make these changes before they take office.
Before they take off.
Yep.
no.
Must have been done.
No, it was not.
Who would have put it there?
I don't know. Because Don asked me and I said I had no idea.
That's weird.
I didn't see it, so it wasn't me. I didn't see it either, but I heard about it.
So what are you proposing?
Well, I would like to see us not pay family health insurance for these very part-time positions. Now, if we have to make it effective January 1st, 2024, fine. That's, well, 23, right? Let's see, 20, 21, 22, 23.
23.
Yeah, it would be effective January 1st, 2024, but I would like to see us at least get the ball rolling in the direction of reining in what we're spending on those positions. I'm not saying I don't want to compensate them fairly. I do, but I don't want to compensate them through the nose.
Chris, your numbers here.
Yeah,
So we have the, under Lake Pleasant, we have the salary number for 2020 is 23,788. Correct? Health insurance, yes. Under the clerk. That's their support staff.
yep,
And in addition to that, plus health insurance, right? Which is where?
Bottom.
well,
Down below here?
Yeah, yeah,
29 plus 36?
you know I like to crunch figures, yep. That's 66,000.
What's the, I'm sorry, okay. Oh, I got it, okay. So Lake Pleasant is spending $65,000 a year. Correct?
Just on health insurance for them. Then you had.
No, it can't be,
No,
can't be, no. I mean, a family plan's like 24 grand, right? In round numbers,
Oh, right, right, that's everything
That's
altogether.
everything.
that's the whole,
That's total compensation.
yeah.
And I didn't label it. Yeah, that's, a lot of money, and they do have clerks. Some of these other towns, they don't have clerks.
What's a,
Who doesn't have a clerk?
Uh,
I go to association meetings,
Indian Lake has a very part-time clerk.
right? And we're part-time clerks.
I can't remember.
I mean, I know,
I guess I
know,
didn't-
I know every court has a clerk. Just off the top of my head at meetings.
Okay.
I mean, Morehouse even has a clerk. Benson,
is that really?
yeah, of course. Amanda Sealy.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
most of us don't just have that clerk, you know, that
Yeah.
clerk or the town clerk also, or also the tax collector, so
Yeah.
we're all kind of weed into that. But Indian Lake has a clerk, Long Lake has a full-time clerk.
Full-time court clerk?
Full-time, I should say part-time, full-time. She doesn't get, and then Arietta's got,
They're all very part-time.
yeah. Speaking of them.
Yeah, we're gonna have to crunch here a little bit. Court, you say 6:30?
Well, 20 to 7,
Okay.
usually everybody, that's bad, getting.
So nobody's interested in saving money on this position.
I think
Is
we,
it anything we're gonna do tonight? I mean, or is it something we're gonna do in the future?
Well, I don't think we should vote on it tonight. I think we should vote on it at our next meeting, that if we wanna do this or not. And I guess I've got the ball rolling, you've got the figures I have.
So are we talking about if we have new clerks, or new judges? Or are we talking about if they leave and we get, or if
No,
they
I'm
stay
talking
on?
about, these are our judges. I think that their salary is
I think this is Don's last run in. I know
way over
this.
where it needs to be. And I don't think we should be, frankly, I don't think we should be paying any health insurance at all. If we're going, I'd like to get rid of health insurance and give them more salary. If that, but I'm sure nobody else wants to do that, so. That's why I'm willing to just get rid of the family health insurance, starting with January 1st, 2024.
Oh.
I just think we need to, move in the right direction on this kind of thing, because it's gotten out of hand.
It's way out of hand. Health insurance for part-time people. Find me a position in the
I know this is
country that
Don's
does
last
it.
run. So you'll be looking at a new judge in 4 years.
Yeah.
For Judge Purdy, replacement.
He's what?
Judge Purdy will be retiring after 4 years.
Is he?
Yep. Yep. I think this was his last run.
I'll make sure we discuss, that's on the agenda. Chris?
Okay.
Do you want to continue on with the 2% salary increase?
I'd like to cap it at what it was last year,
I agree.
or this year, That way we're not taking anything away from them, but we're saying, this position
You're
has
saying
reached.
just for the justices.
Yeah,
Clarify.
yeah. Yeah. We're all in agreement?
Right, 10 guys coming through that door.
So no 2%, so you're not doing 2% this year for the judges?
Right.
I'm only.
No.
Mark?
Is that correct? No 2% on the judges?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, that's a start. That's the,
It's not really that much, it's like $300.
Divided by 2.
Right.
See, we got
Oh, and I had a bit of good news
$150.
today. Dan, you might already know about this, but I just found out today.
What's that?
I was gonna talk about budgeting money for a postcard campaign against Verizon for next year.
Oh, I haven't heard it.
But I found out today that Speculator and Lake Pleasant were added to Verizon's 2020 build plan, which means that they wanna make the tower on Oak Mountain 15 feet taller, which I think they're gonna have to go through American Tower Company for that, but they must have already talked to them. And they wanna add small cell towers throughout town. So,
Good.
Great.
and that's because of Jeanette's persistence,
Yep, yep.
really been a pain in their butt.
Is there any,
Haven't we all?
Yeah, well, the
Yeah,
more
pretty much.
that we complain, the better.
So,
Well, we'll believe it when we see.
so we're not doing 2% on the judges?
No, we're not.
and another budget item which I brought up to Dan's attention, which is on, I believe we're gonna handle in this year's budget, is the replacement truck of 212. And that affects, obviously, these
Right.
numbers. So we haven't received, Auctions International has received payment for both of those trucks. And we'll be getting a check as soon as they turn it around and cut it back to us.
how much again? 20 or 30?
35-1, I do believe it is. 18 and 17-1.
35 one of us.
35-1.
So, we have now, after my research, somewhere here, Chevrolet, because of the strike, is way backlogged. So So the idea of getting anything that even the dealerships have ordered, because most of the internet trucks that you see that are available on the internet are just what they ordered. They're not actually in their yards. They're advertising to sell them, but they don't have them.
Bless you.
So you have the one that I originally talked about down in there, the 5500, which is the one that I originally was talking is now sold. They have a red one, that one was white, they have a red one which has a few more options on it, dual fuel tanks, blah, 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 which of course raised the price. So that is at 69,672. That can be ready in 2 weeks, so says the dealer.
Is that the big one or the little
The
one?
bigger one. Okay? So in my pursuit, the biggest Chevy dealership in New York is down in the Poughkeepsie area. It is, of course, his name is not on this printout. They don't have any Chevys up either. They are also a Dodge dealer. He has Dodges in stock. Diesel, same per se, 3,500, the 1-ton, the smaller one. That, I can hand pass these around with all these options, is on the second page.
That's what I'm doing. I don't need it.
59,455. That will take 45 days from letter of, any kind of letter, email, whatever, of commitment. So that puts us to January right now. My calendar sits here. So time is kind of the essence of what we want to do. 2 weeks. If we wait another week or two to decide on that, that truck could be gone also, because they're flying off the shelf like hotcakes, because nobody can get them. Or go with the smaller one, save $10,000, and go switch over to Dodge, which we don't have any Dodges in this facility, but doesn't mean. I talked to Mike, all the parts are Napa available, so on and so forth. We're just not accustomed to it here, that's all. I wouldn't bring this to you if I didn't think it was a legitimate, you know,
Would you rather wait and get a Chevy, like this time next year?
no.
Okay.
I have already,
Nothing to sand
mean,
with other than
I-
a big
Well,
truck
we'd
right
have to
now.
buy
Yeah.
a sander for the back one of the
we've
pickup
already
trucks.
bought that, that's coming.
Oh, you did get it, good.
It's 2
Cause
weeks.
that's our, gap filler, right?
Yes, that
Okay.
is my backup plan. But, we're just shorthanded with every which way you look at it without the plow, with, I need something, it's the long and short of it.
Okay.
In springtime, it's going to be even worse, cause I can't take these big trucks on these soft roads without having a dump body. So to go next spring is, and then, as she will, we start cemeteries. We need a small truck for that. So a year from now, no. Mm-mm. That's not,
How many trips to the cemetery do you do? Just-
what's that?
How many
How
people
many-
died?
Oh,
Quite a few.
I have no
They
idea.
stack them up in a
Well,
snowbank.
we
you
literally
you
stacked
know more
that.
since you've been here, how
No, I
many we do.
I have no idea.
We do a lot.
I'm
Not even a
betting
clue.
20,
Yeah.
25 of them in the summer.
Oh, really?
And it's, the hit is from now, they get
Full bodies are the
full
one.
bodies
Yep.
frozen. So then,
It's our,
come May,
That's why
till
those
middle
bays
of
are.
June.
last year we had a funeral.
We were booking
We
them.
had
I
at
mean,
least
we were
2
literally-
funerals a week.
You know,
We had-
plotting them on a calendar, how many we could do.
We had at least, there was a time that we were doing 2 or 3 a week.
All right, no, I had no idea.
Everybody
Yeah,
loves
it's-
the Adirondacks, even when they're dead.
You need
Well,
to,
it's 'cause
you
we're-
need to hang out with us sometimes, cemetery work.
It's cause we're free,
Um,
Yeah, exactly.
that's why.
which
Let's
one of
rule it out.
these, Randy, would you like? I mean, do you think?
Oh, isn't that
man.
so sweetly
That,
put?
that's
Which
what
one?
he likes. And his
Because
wishes are
this
command.
might as well be Greek to
To
me.
you.
Right.
I can
Right.
do this other stuff, but this.
Well, the bottom
not
line-
so
This
much.
will work now.
This would work.
ASAP.
Which
But
one?
the thing is, it's
The
not
Dodge.
ASAP. The Dodge is 45 days
Right.
And that's January.
But that's-
as promised, and these
Yeah.
are both as promised. We, you know, all of a sudden, it could be 2 months, 3 months. You don't know, I mean, we all hope that the
Well,
dealers
the
know how
longer you
long
kick
it's
the
gonna
can,
take.
the longer it's gonna take.
Thank you.
So you're really saying you want the $69,000 one that you can get like in Poughkeepsie
In the
next
golden
week?
world, I originally was saying no, I wanted the smaller ones for the better thing, but,
For the golden child in the golden world.
yeah. I really don't know.
Who is the
I need
golden age?
something, if it's gonna snow again, I need it yesterday. This morning would have been great, but if we're talking
It's not
budget
gonna
numbers,
snow again.
save the $10,000 and go with the Dodge. And we'll struggle through till January. That was my plan last meeting, and I'll stick with it and just see what the Dodge does. I mean, it is what it is. We've had a lot of lemons before and we got through it, so. I don't think Dodge is building a lemon. I mean, it's, Mike O'Connor asked him and he said brakes. He's got 100 and some thousand miles on him. He had to do brakes twice. Okay, that's, you know,
It's acceptable.
acceptable. It is what it is. You know, he had one that
It
right
would
off the
be,
bat had a water pump, but that was a warranty. We've all had warranty issues,
they wouldn't be selling them, they wouldn't be in business.
Exactly.
They're building a decent truck.
so.
Well, how much more difficult is it to use the bigger truck on our lots? I mean, that's why you wanted the smaller one.
How much we've gotten used to it, we've had it.
So
It
it's-
was mostly the parts. We got into that scenario with Chevrolet that we couldn't get parts for it. And that's what I
Right.
was trying to avoid. It's a unique truck. It's a certain size. It's a mid-sized truck. It's not the average contractor truck that's running up and down the road every day, but it's also not the big truck that you see a
So
lot.
if you got the $69 one, $1,000 one, $69.
$69.
$69,000 one, would that be the oddball truck down the road that you're not gonna be able to get parts
Correct.
for?
Right,
Correct.
But
That
the,
is
but the,
$59,000 one.
but more readily accessible
It's
parts.
readily accessible, that's
Mm-hmm.
why I was going that way with the 1 tons. It's just trying to find trucks now because of everything is out of stock. They're backlogged like you wouldn't believe. So we switch over from Chevy to Dodge. And then,
What would it
That's-
cost to lease a truck for a couple months?
I
Guess.
don't
I
think
don't
you could
think
lease
you
a
will.
truck like this.
we won't, I don't
Can't
think,
get
no,
anything like
Yeah,
that?
Listen,
no,
Yeah,
no, cause too much damage happens.
Oh, okay.
So my suggestion to the board is to go with the Dodge and wait, Christmas is coming. So hopefully we don't have any more huge snowstorms or anything like that.
I think the longer you wait, the harder it's gonna get it.
Yes, oh, without a doubt, this guy, he's selling them left and right, and that's why I talked to him today, and he says, if you're not having a board meeting, get an email from all of them, do something so I can reserve this. Otherwise, it's going out the
I
door.
don't think we could vote on it here because this is a budget workshop. Although we have a quorum, I don't know, I'm not really clear on that.
I think didn't we already authorize you to replace the
Yeah, we did.
2
I
trucks?
don't know how the minutes actually came out.
I haven't seen it.
I assume we must have done something because
You wanted to
sold
do
it.
50,000.
I
You
sold
wanted to
it,
do
and
50,000.
I was
I
going for
think-
that $50-some thousand truck,
Yeah,
so.
but now you want a 60-some pound.
No, I'm still at 59,455.
yeah, just keep out underneath.
And actually, I took off the tarp off of it, because
Well,
I
we were
could get the
making
tarp system
motions
$500
earlier
cheaper
about
to us than
stuff.
to them.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, it's a $1,700 item, how can I save a third? Just by not,
By doing what?
tarp, just a regular electric tarp, $1,700, I can buy it for 12 something. I'm like,
gotta make the money somewhere.
yep. And that's with the, if you read the top line, base model less, options less 10, non-OEM, 50% discount supposedly.
Yeah.
50% of what?
But is it as good as the original equipment?
It's the exact same item.
Oh, okay.
I mean, this contract is a nice contract with the percentages. I mean, where are you gonna buy a 1-ton truck for $26,000?
That's when you drive up and down I-95 and you see these car dealers. Acres,
An acre
acres.
of vehicles.
No, we did not authorize Randy to buy that truck yet. We authorized him to buy the sander.
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 Yeah.
Oh, just a sander, okay.
And to accept the bid from International, from Auction International.
Right. Well, what do you think?
I think we should make a motion, and then then we should at the next meeting just say, oh, by the way, we made a motion.
So if we have to do it
Yeah.
again, yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah, it's just to authorize the sander, right?
Right.
We
And
have a
and the
farm.
sale of the other ones, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
To accept the bids,
Okay.
I
yes.
mean, we were
Hopefully
making
that's it,
motions
because they're
about
gone.
other.
No, that was to accept,
That's true.
no, that was to
Yeah.
accept the bids, that,
Yeah.
that was before.
Not that they went anywhere.
No,
Because
this
is
is a
not
big
state contract,
chunk of
we don't have
change.
to bid it.
Yeah.
Correct, it's Oneida, we're piggybacking,
Okay, all right.
so we don't have to bid it.
Now, where is this one?
This is
Okay.
Robert Green. It is Robert Green Auto and Truck Incorporated,
Poughkeepsie?
Rock Hill, New York.
Oh, I know where that is.
I have no clue.
I went to Girl Scout camp at Rock Hill.
All I know is it has an 845 area code.
Yep.
So that's downstate
It's
somewhere.
near Kingston, right?
Mhm.
I
South
think
of that.
Vicky's from down that
Okay,
And I'm dealing with Robert S. Green
okay,
himself.
let's get back on focus here.
way. Okay, thank
Sorry.
you.
So what are we doing?
All right.
You're getting
I
what you
would- I'll
want.
move that we
Golden
buy
boy.
the $59,000 truck,
Dodge.
Dog.
Dodge,
Dodge.
is there a second?
Debbie will make it right.
Somehow I'll change it around, yeah. Chris moved.
Yeah, I'll second it, I just wonder if,
Oh, wait a minute, it's a $69,000
No,
truck.
no.
59.
It'll be here
50.
in 2 weeks.
Bob, you wonder
That, no, we're
what?
not looking
I
at,
just wonder
that's
if
a
we
DM.
should word this that,
Contingent on, board approval on the,
59,
final approval on
455,
Monday
50.
night.
Okay,
right.
Chris,
This
you okay?
price.
why don't we just
Chris,
make,
you okay with that?
we'll type up a resolution
Yeah.
to be approved at the next meeting, but you are authorizing him right now to go ahead and proceed to order it. We'll
Good
just,
idea.
As long as I can get that in writing in some form of electronical thing so I can send it to him.
we'll do that first thing in the morning,
Yep.
So all in favor?
All
Uh,
right.
okay?
So to get your notes straight.
Yeah, just give me a copy of what we have to itemize and then we'll type that up first thing in the morning. Oh, there I am, I got it.
Doesn't mean anything to me, so.
Yep, 59455.50, yeah.
Correct.
I'll do that first thing in the morning. Put the golden egg. I'll wait the golden egg.
How'd that new grader work out for you?
That has gotten some miles on it, let me
Bet
tell
it
you.
has. And you know what I was
There was a
thinking? It's a
question,
damn
too.
good thing that we bought it.
I
Because
Exactly.
otherwise, all you
From
would have
the
been doing
cows
was
at the
fixing the old
town
one.
garden.
Yeah.
Are you
You
putting
wouldn't have
aside
got those roads
$500 for them
fixed.
for
Is
this
South
year?
Shore Road all
How did you
Nobody asked.
piled and tackled, or are they still
Why
one
can't I
lane?
ever think of her
I think it's
name?
still one lane over there.
Wow.
I haven't been
Chris
over
and
there.
Merry
Barker.
Christmas.
Mark.
Not her,
They
but
get
the other,
just
the
those,
one
like,
that you
Jersey
store for
barriers
Crawford
on
Extension.
state.
Huh?
Oh, Nancy.
Nancy Welch. She asked me the other day about,
Jersey
that she had
barriers
heard
up
that
north.
$500
I know
was
Yeah, up
put
north
aside. I
there's
said,
still
I don't see
some.
that in the
They got
budget, but
lights
maybe
and
Dan
so
has that
on
in his
up there.
consolidated health.
The plowing is all kinds of fun with all the cones.
No,
on it.
That's
nobody
what
said
I was
anything.
wondering.
Okay.
Doesn't
Eddie
that,
rearranged
that's
a
cooperative
couple.
extension, right?
But all the signs.
That
they
was
got,
done
you had
through
them over.
cooperative
Yeah,
extension in
yeah,
the
but,
past. Oh, you know where the $500 came from? That was from the Lions Club.
right, so they're looking to see if you have put aside $500 for the town for that garden also.
No, we haven't.
Okay,
I thought you were gonna do that through Consolidated Health.
do you think you have 500?
I possibly do, but I'd have to go to my board and see if we can spend it
Yeah,
on
so
that.
I'll tell Nancy to give you a call about that,
Okay.
okay? Thanks. That's all.
Any more discussions? So obviously this is a fluid thing, so I'll put these numbers in the next day or two. On your handouts here, the projected fund balance for at the end of the year.
Right.
The first one that's not marked the worksheet is where we're at right now, projected. Total cash on hand as of Friday night was 1.2 million. 150,000 in revenues coming in through the end of the year. $548,000 appropriations remaining to be paid. Unless the number goes a lot higher. So the ending fund balance projected December 31st is 838,000.
So,
Wouldn't that be
But-
D plus E minus F?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, I got the numbers backwards.
Well, they have D plus E plus
Oh,
F.
you're correct. Yeah, that should be a minus. So.
yeah.
But
See, I've been handing this out for a year. I'm
Randy?
sorry.
Some of the numbers in DEB are going to change also because there's $87,000 of CHIPS money.
That'll come in December, hopefully.
I got it, yeah.
Well, that's included in the revenue remaining,
Okay,
supposed to be.
But you can't count the
Okay.
cash reserves
Never
in
mind.
these numbers.
No, but this gives you
Oh, I know.
the overall picture. Yeah. Okay. So in terms of cash versus the entire budget, you know, we're running over 24%, which is, Dan likes to see 20%. The controller's office somewhere in the middle there, I guess. I don't think you've ever gotten dinged
Nope.
for having
I-
not enough cash on hand.
Nope.
Or too much.
Or too much. So the worksheet I put together was just, I just spent a little time throwing some numbers in there to see what we could do.
And that's,
So we have cash to work with. I think the last number I looked at was about we're about $134,000 over the cap at the moment, based on the appropriations that we've all agreed to for next year. So we certainly have, with the cash on hand, to appropriate some of that for the budget, to bring it down under the cap of 2%. And I'll have the final numbers based on, hopefully this is the final get-together, within a day or two, and I'll email.
and last year we appropriated 158,000 to offset the tax levy. Amount to reduce taxes, 158,000, right?
No, that's gonna be, this is going forward for 2020.
Oh, that's not last year's.
That's not last year.
Somewhere I had last year's.
We took 150,000 for Randy last year.
I was gonna say, that was,
Remember that? Remember that?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you do.
sorry.
And you survived.
So we do have enough cash to be comfortable with cash reserves, my opinion.
Oh, we allocate 166.8 this year. For 2019, to reduce taxes, so 135 means we're going in the right direction.
Right.
Yeah. So, if you're all are comfortable with that,
which
Yeah.
I'll put
funds,
those final numbers in.
which funds are you planning on?
Taking 120,000 out of Fund A. Taking 14,000 out of B. Putting 100 into DA.
You're putting 100 into these?
Putting 100 into DA.
I'm confused.
He's doing it my way.
Oh, that's bad.
He needs
I
more.
knew this was gonna get you.
I'm trying to get him to a cash position approximating 20%
Oh, okay.
in the DA fund. The A fund, you know, we were over the 20%, dropping it down to 18 to 19%. Now, some of these percentages are skewed because the numbers are so, the fire, 8%, we're not gonna spend any money on the fire department. So it's a math game. Like I said, this was a one-time stab at it, so I'll look at these numbers again over the next 48 hours and try to tweak them a little better and let you know what we came out with.
You got dice, what do you use?
Dice? Yeah. Okay, does that sound agreeable?
I'll check my crystal ball.
Sounds very good.
There we go.
So,
So with these numbers, you're at what with the?
Using these numbers, we should get down to like 1.8 and change.
Just under the seat.
Yeah. That's the last time I plugged those numbers a couple weeks ago. Okay,
Thanks. Thank you.
thank you.
thanks for all your work.
Thank you
Mark.
for all your work.
Got a minute?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Answer all your questions?
Yes, you could, thank you.
Sure.
I'll come up with more, you know I will.
What?
I mean, I look at it as this is the only shot we
Yeah,
have.
standard in there.
Should we use the rest?
Oh,
Next year's budget.
They are.
You know.
Sure, I'll be in there.
that's true, that's true.
Oh, sure. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
I hope I said that.
Yeah. Don't let it be you. No, I'm gonna have them stand them in the morning.
I'm wondering.
Make the change and the rate is going to
Yeah, I tried to put as
Debbie,
much
right?
on there
That's
as I
gonna be
could.
it.
They're
Yeah,
gonna
I'm gonna,
feel it. It used to be.
no reason I shouldn't be able to get it done by tomorrow. By dinner time tomorrow night and email it out to you. And just get a verbal reply from you.
Yeah, see?
There's no blatant errors or anything, and then I'll run the numbers in here on the system and then print it out and bring it to Deb.
Both sides.
Deb, that's, I mean, next
Oh, yeah.
week's budget approval, it's already on the calendar, right?
They got this year.
Huh?
Okay, yeah. Budget's gonna get approved next week.
Yeah.
It's serious. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Serious.
Monday. Then Tuesday, I gotta do Sal's budget.
Good night, everybody. Good night.
All right.
Good night. Didn't get a chance to see on Monday? What time Monday?
So Randy, how you feeling?
Good, why?
About, no, about
Every time I plan something.
well, personally, I hope you're feeling good, but how about the state of the world here?
State of the town?
Yes.
That's all I'm worried about. I think
Must have a
I think they'll come through with money, but it's gonna, last time it took almost 2 years for us to get the actual check.
But other than that, besides the money, but everything else?
Yeah, we had that monster
Sorry
pile
about
of gravel out
the,
back, which
yeah.
is Page Street. And then Hamilton Lake, Gilmantown, and Perkins Clearing. Perkins Clearing's the only one that haven't quote unquote repaired. And then we just gotta do all the shoulders and blacktop.
My mother got her hair
that we
done.
want, which is miles. So we're gonna lose our advantage on how we're getting forward with our blacktopping, but we should get that money back, and then whatever year we get that back, we'll have a.
Can you use any of that big pile of dirt up there? Up the road?
Yes, actually I did.
I figured that was one of the first
I
things
used
he
some of that in
did.
Perkins Clearing, but it turned into slop. So now tomorrow we're gonna go fix snowmobile trails, so we're gonna be taking that, 'cause snowmobile trails are destroyed. Because nothing is done.
Hatchery Brook culvert go out?
Yeah,
And she loves getting her.
and the
How
one
the
port,
heck did that go out of
it's not only gone, it's gone.
It's gone?
It's
It's probably down by the
It was
cat.
aluminum, it just broke the culvert to pieces. So the state of New York says, oh, what do you need? I'm like, what do you mean, what do I need? They're like, well, was that like a 36 inch? I'm like, no, that was like a 6-foot culvert.
And
We're talking $10,000 of culvert
It was
here.
a biggie.
Oh, well, we might have to do a little research. I said, it's November 15th. We need to get going. It's our primary way to get to Perkins Clearing from speculating. Oh, and I can't even get to it right now to go, you know, except for walking.
Oh.
What is that?
Because the one before it, the 36-inch one is gone also.
Oh, whiskey? It's
Yeah,
gone. Really?
so I'm like,
Right.
we'll work on it. I'll get back to you.
Have you replaced these?
Bye.
Have you been forced to put in the same size, or have you been able to go?
Yeah, the ones that I seem to feel that need to be bigger, I put bigger. Nobody's forcing, they're at the point, do whatever you wanna do.
He owns all of it.
Well, I just wondered if you had them in stock.
No.
Oh, you had to go ahead, get them.
Oh, yeah, we only keep up to 36-inch here.
Oh,
The salary.
The one we did at, the one that we did at Oxbow Road, it's a 6-foot culvert, that was $8,000 for one section.
well, yeah, obviously what I'm thinking.
But the big one
You're
on
going
30
bigger, so
had,
maybe you won't have them
The
again.
one on 30 Hatchie, they saved. They did some repairs to it. And I saw a lot of engineers walking around up there one day, and I don't know what they came up with, but
You know,
they
sprawl,
seemed to
right?
know,
That's like our
Compared.
side yard. John's mowed for as long as we
You
lived
know, I
there
treat the
before
springtime when
that.
there's a lot of water, it
Property.
had hatchery.
You know, they don't care,
Up
but,
above.
you know,
you
just.
go up to where,
I
And there's only, you still got
It's
4
just,
foot of,
you know,
culvert,
it was
free
mowed
board.
before we got there, so we always mowed it.
Like Bill Osborne was.
gone.
Mike's.
All right, thank you.
How many years?
Bye, welcome.
Oh, I don't even wanna know, I mean, it's been a long time, if they ever finish that, I'll be impressed.
We got 5 different colors.
Well, this isn't a whole lot better right now, because we started. Darkening it a little, so John did the back, and then he did the side, and
Thanks,
then
Mark.
decided
Thank
maybe
you,
we'll
good
get it,
night.
Good night.
Vinyl sided, or whatever they do.
Yes.
Yeah, so, we called Mike Fisher, and he might come in the spring
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we're supposed to have our roof done too.
Our
Might
roof
come
and
to
siding,
yeah.
yeah, so he might, but he might not.
Yeah.
What's
Okay.
Fred doing?
He's good.
I saw Cliff the other, or
Yep.
Skip the other day.
Yes, he's
Boy,
doing
he
good.
looks so much
He's
better
doing
than I saw
really
him
a lot
months ago.
better.
Yeah. Okay. He's-
well, like, budget
Thanks.
is going up
Okay.
7.2%.
Because of what's going on now, or
No,
just
because,
because?
they kicked the can down the road too long on some projects that need to be taken care of.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Good night.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, Dad.
Bye, talk tomorrow, Nance.
Okay.
Yeah, well, first class German office.
That'll fix it. All right, we'll see you guys.
Bye, Mark, thanks.